Good evening. My name's Cheryl O'Neill and I'm your presenter for tonight. I'm just getting my slideshow to come on board. There we go. All right, there we are. Okay. So before tonight's session, you should have received some emails with some 2 handouts that you can refer to throughout the session, one of which is the questionnaire. That is available online. I'll talk about that in a minute. And the other one is a 4-page herbal supplement guide that goes through all of the body systems and then the supplements that we're going to be discussing in tonight's session. So hopefully you have received that. Oh, okay. There's no chat. Okay, let me just double check. Okay, there should be chat room now. Thanks, Mark, for letting me in on that. Very computer and user-friendly IBOs we have out there. Okay, so see if you can chat now. Ah, yes, there we go. Now you can. Okay, lovely. Thank you, Mark. You're very good to me, alerting me of that early on. I was wondering why no one was sending in a hello to me. So now you can, and you should also not get any interference like we had last time. So 1,000 apologies for the interference we did have in the last session. You should all be muted now and only be able to hear me. And now you have the chat area. So feel free as we go along to pop your questions into the chat area as we do go through them, some of which I will refer to at the time if they're relating to something we're discussing. Others I'll leave to the end and I'll go through them all at the end and make sure I have covered them, because the chat area I have on my screen is quite small, so I don't want to miss any questions, so I'll go through them at the end. So tonight's session is part of the NUTRIWAY Health Expert program. It is the second part of it, which is the Herbal Medicine series, so which will be a 2-part session like we had with our nutritional sessions as well. So just to familiarise yourself with your screen, the questions area that you can see on your screen now has changed to chat area, so I need to update that. If you could just mute your phones and type any questions as we go along, and as I said, I will answer them if they're relating to the session as we go. Oh, we've got good reception in Wellington. That's always a good thing. Okay, let's make a start. So as I said, tonight's session is the Herbal Medicine, of which is a 1-hour session, and there's 2 parts. So tonight's the first part. So we're covering half of the information on the body systems and the herbs, and the second half on the 20th of May, I believe it is. After that, we'll be doing the Building Your NUTRIWAY Business session. So what are we going to be looking at tonight? We're going to look at the difference between your herbals, your vitamins, your minerals and your pharmaceuticals. We're going to look at the actions, dosages and the active constituents of the herbal range. And tonight we're looking at heart health, men's health, eye health and immune health. And you will see on the documents that you received prior to tonight's session, the NUTRIWAY Herbal Supplement Guide, that actually lists the eye health, the immune health, the stamina and endurance, women's health, memory and circulation, heart health, digestive and weight management as well. So that goes through all the information of not only tonight's session but also in the section for the next time. We also have the NUTRIWAY Herbal Questionnaire, which I'll refer to in a minute, and you have the online assessment that will come on board with your password and everything at the end of session 2. So pretty quick and prompt 20 questions, not too hard, but you know, some that make you think along the way too. So let's talk briefly about herbs in the 20th century. Has been what is considered a bit of a rebirth for a number of reasons, concerns over the effects of prescription drugs, some viral strains becoming resistant to antibiotics, and there's more scientific validation in regards to the efficiency of herbs. And with that comes a lot more publication in mainstream media, where things like echinacea, now people can say and know what it relates to, whereas 10, 15 years ago you'd say echinacea and no one knew what you were talking about. Now people are slowly coming on board with so many other herbs within our range, of which we know about, but some of which are your green tea, your rhodiola, along with your Siberian ginseng. There's so many other parts here that we're starting to see coming to mainstream media, which is great. I love it. Herbs take a proactive role. Instead of waiting for the symptoms of illness to appear, they take a proactive role in preventing illness. So the focus is on preserving the body's internal natural balance, or your homeostasis, and avoiding potentially damaging effects from any long-term use of pharmaceutical drugs. Hence, that's the difference between the herbs and the conventional medicine. So your conventional medicine you're taking upon getting well, as opposed to the herbs, where we actually take on the proactive role of boosting our immune system in preparation for the winter season. So taking them prior to getting unwell. So let's have a look at the difference between your supplements, so your vitamins and your minerals, which provide a general overall health and well-being, allow the body to work more efficiently and more in balance. And as we say several times in our NUTRIWAY presentations, is that they're helping to fill the gap. Oh, I've had someone say to me they can't see my screen, but a lot of people can see my screen, so maybe that's just that computer. If you have any issues along the way, I do provide my email address at the end, and you're always able to get the presentation off me as well, so you can email me at the end for the presentation. And also there is the help email that comes through to Amway customer service as well after a session, if that happened to be a problem too. Now back to the presentation. Herbs enhance specific body systems. So that's why when I was talking about for the systems that we're looking at, they're talking about either the particular body system or the particular part of the body in regards to the nervous system, immune system that they're working with. Pharmaceuticals treat specific symptoms in the body. Now some golden rules with our herbs, one of which I say time and time again, and I'll give you my reasons for that in a minute. But pregnancy and herbs, not to be taken, no herbs to be taken whilst pregnant or whilst breastfeeding. The reason being, pretty simple, there's not enough research, there's not enough information out there in regards to what happens when a pregnant lady does take any herbal supplements. Children and herbs. Children can take herbs from the age of 12. That's when you're considered an adult in the travel industry. You pay adult price when you turn 12. And in the health industry, children can take herbal supplements from the age of 12. Now, a really, really important point here is that with regards to someone taking pharmaceuticals and wanting to take on board some herbs. Now, it is imperative that prior to including any herbal supplements into your regime that you check with the doctor first. We don't want there to be any contraindications between the herbal supplement and the doctor prescribed pharmaceutical medication. And the only person that can basically give the tick of approval for that is the doctor. Okay. So many questions that come through to the Ask Your Naturopath service are around this. They'll say, I have a client, they've got a list of all of the supplements that the doctor's given them, or pharmaceuticals that the doctor's giving them to take, and they'll ask us, can they take Siberian ginseng? And basically each time we go back and say that you need to give the client or yourself needs to take in the bottle of the supplement or the information on the supplement, the technical information that you can get from the website, take that in so the doctor can see what's in the supplement and give the tick of approval. Yes, that doesn't interact with your diabetic medication, high blood pressure medication, etc. And then they can go on and take their herbs. If there is a problem, then they'll address that and say why they shouldn't be taking it. So we need to get that tick of approval from the doctor before we basically say, yes, take bilberry and lutein, take Siberian ginseng, take some rhodiola, etc. Now the doctor might say, oh, there's not enough research on this, I don't know why you need to take it, but it comes back to the reason as to why you've chosen to take it and just to get the tick of approval from the doctor in regards to whether it interacts with any medications. Now that is also important in regards to multivitamins and any other supplements that you're taking. A doctor will often ask now prior to putting you on medication whether you are taking any supplements, and don't be afraid to tell them that. They're not necessarily going to tell you any more about it. They just need to know for their own records that yes, you are taking a supplement with vitamin B12 in it, etc. Those 3 golden rules, children, pregnancy, and checking with the doctor, are many of the questions that come through to the Ask Your Naturopath service around these 3 points. So this is the questionnaire that's available for you, and you should have received prior to the session as well. So this is available on the website as well. It has been around for a while. It's been updated, but the questionnaire itself has been available for some time on the website. And it's a good guide basically to, well, I suggest it if your client's already taking nutritionals, they've sat down and spoken with you and you've addressed the foundationals being your double X or your daily, and you've also looked at taking omega-3 and concentrated fruit and veg, and they're taking those and then they're in a good regime in regards to those. But then it might get to the point that they're wanting to fill the gap in regards to their immune health, eye health, etc. And this is where you might say, okay, let's do this quick questionnaire, have a look at this and see, and they might be answering yes to all the questions in regards to bilberry and lutein, and then that's when you might say, okay, well, let me give you more information on that and let's introduce that into your supplement regime. So now let's start on immune health. So I think we've had a lot of people come on board now again, so welcome for those that have just arrived. As I said earlier, the presentation is available to you after the session. You just need to send me an email. So now we're going to look at our immune health, of which 2 supplements within this part of the range are the NUTRIWAY Triple Shield Echinacea and NUTRIWAY Garlic Heart Care. So a little bit of background about garlic. Garlic rations were actually given to slaves who were helping in building the Great Pyramids to enable them to keep up their strength. It was also used in the past to treat common ailments such as parasites, respiratory problems and poor digestion. Louis Pasteur in 1858 studied antibacterial actions of garlic and called it nature's penicillin. And also in World War I and II it was used as an antiseptic for gangrene. So in our NUTRIWAY Garlic Heart Care, you've got your pure concentrated garlic, which is equivalent to 1200 milligrams of fresh garlic bulb. It also has that natural mint flavour, and a bit of a catchphrase with this supplement is that it's garlic that doesn't talk back. 2 tablets daily with meals. Now, what I'm going to introduce to you on the next screen is what we call the claims for this product. Now, a lot of people have said to me, can I get all of the claims of all of the products? You do actually get the claims in regards to the product within the information that is promoted on that product. It's just worded in a more customer user-friendly terminology as opposed to what I've got up on the screen now. So normally it will be a nice pretty paragraph describing the garlic heart care, such as in the What Could Be More Natural book. I've just listed it here slightly differently some people like it this way, some people prefer it the other way, but basically it's the same information, and it's the claims on the document, on the supplement that we can make that has gone through the Therapeutic Goods Association as well. So for garlic, we have relief of the symptoms of catarrh, colds, influenza, flu, and hay fever. May help reduce the severity of the symptoms of a cold. May reduce the severity and duration of colds. Can assist in the treatment of influenza/flu. Relief of pain of influenza and flu. And one we're going to talk about when it comes to the heart, but may help and support healthy blood cholesterol, which may assist in maintaining a healthy heart in healthy individuals. So this supplement is one that is amazing for this time of the year. So I often recommend somebody who will say to me, I get a cold every year, I catch what everyone else is getting, I have a continual cold from the start of winter to the end of winter. This is a good one to start to introduce in this cold autumn weather in sunny Melbourne that I'm in. But during that few months or lead up to winter, it's a good one to start to introduce to help build up their immune system. Don't know how cold it is everywhere else for everyone at the minute. I know it's very wet in New South Wales at the moment. What's it like in sunny New Zealand for you guys right now? Do you need this? So now let's look at one of my favourite supplements, the NUTRIWAY Triple Shield Echinacea. So the way it gets its name with regards to the Triple Shield is that it contains 3 parts of the plant of Echinacea, which as a naturopath I quite enjoy because it means that you're getting the synergy of the plants. So you have the purpurea aerial parts, the augustifolia roots, and the purpurea roots of the Echinacea plant. So you're preserving the natural chemistry of the plant. The 3 separate compounds are measured for quality assurance, and naturopathically you often purchase the liquid form of these herbs individually. They're not often all together. There's often some blends, but not always the blend of the 3 parts of the plant. Now this is my little Echinacea dosage guide. The first sign of a cold or the flu, day 1, you take 3 tablets immediately. Several hours later, take another 3 tablets, and a few hours after that, take another 3 tablets. So the aim is in that first 24-hour period to get the 3 doses of 3 tablets. So a total of 9 tablets within that initial 24-hour period. Basically what we're doing is we're telling our immune system to make more white blood cells to enable those white blood cells, our army, to care for us and basically get into the body and produce more white blood cells to basically catch the virus and the bacteria and eat it all up so that the cold doesn't impact us as much. Lovely. Day 2 to day 14, 1 tablet with breakfast, 1 tablet with lunch, and 1 tablet with dinner. So a total of 3 throughout that day. And the claims for Echinacea. Relief of the symptoms of colds, may help reduce the severity of the symptoms of colds, may reduce the severity and duration of colds, relief of mucus congestion, can assist in the treatment of influenza by reducing the severity and duration of the symptoms, and for systematic relief of upper respiratory tract infections. Now, I've had a question come through in regard to bilberry and lutein. I'll get onto that in a minute, so we just jumped ahead. Okay, so there are our claims for Triple Shield Echinacea. Hence, you can see why whenever we think of colds and flu, we're thinking of Echinacea. All right, now let's have a look at heart health of which we have our NUTRIWAY Cholesterol Health, and we also have Garlic Heart Care that we've just had a quick look at too. So let's just have a little bit of a formation of look at formation of atherosclerosis within the arteries, which I was actually having a detailed description of this with my children the other day, because they often hear about things such as a heart attack and they wanted to know what it meant. So I was describing to them that we have a nice clear tube, as we do in point 1 here, healthy artery with no plaque buildup. Then in point 2, we have a little bit of plaque building up, accumulation of the on the lipid. By point 3, we start to have a little bit more lipid formulation on the top and on the bottom. By point 4, the lipid formulation is growing, so that plaque is growing, and therefore we've got less chance of our blood getting through that vein or artery. And basically what's happening there is we're then going to get a blockage, which causes the blood not to make it through to our heart. And as I said to my children, what could possibly cause the formation of that buildup? And I asked them the question, and it was interesting to see what they came back with, and they said not exercising. I said yes, so exercising helps your blood to keep pumping through at a fast pace, keeps your fat deposits down. And then they talked about food. I said, yep, if you're eating too much fatty foods, then if it's got nowhere to go, if you're not exercising and it's too much, it's got nowhere to go, then it just says, oh, let's just take a sit down on this artery here, and then all of its fat deposit friends come and sit down, and they create a nice little blockage, and then no blood comes through. So it was interesting to get to the point of view from a 7-year-old, 9-year-old and 11-year-old in regards to what causes a heart attack, and it was intriguing that they did actually come back with exercise and food as the two things. Now let's talk green tea. Who's a green tea lover out there? I know I am. Now, my tip with green tea, just as a naturopathic side to this, when brewing your green tea, make sure you don't add boiling hot water to your green tea, because it will burn the leaves, and therefore your tea will become quite bitter and the flavour doesn't come through. So a lot of people say they don't like green tea, and I found that with for a lot of people it's because that's how they brew it, just like they would normally brew black tea. So what you do is you boil your kettle, pour the water into your cup or into your pot, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then add your green tea bag or your green tea leaves and boil it for 1 to 2 minutes, and then you have a perfect cup of green tea that's not bitter. But back to the benefits of green tea. So green tea and tea consumption dates back more than 4,000 years ago in China. It was first brewed in 2737 BC. There's details of many of the emperors using this. It was used as a beverage but also as a medicine in Asia. Some of the traditional uses of green tea were to help control bleeding, healing of wounds, regulating body temperature, blood sugar, and promoting digestion. And today we use it for conditions such as promoting your digestion, helping with blood sugar regulation and metabolism as well. We don't so much use it for the healing of wounds, because technology has given us a few other ways to do that now too. Not to say you couldn't, of course. So what's in our NUTRIWAY Cholesterol Health? You've got green tea, which contains 197 micrograms of green tea with the catechins and the tea biflavonoids, the theaflavins, and they're the two active constituents within tea that give you the antioxidants and the health benefits. 2 tablets per day with meals of your cholesterol health, and some of the claims helps to control the LDL cholesterol, therefore helps maintain normal ratio of your LDL and your HDL in people with a healthy lifestyle and diet. Now the catechin antioxidants are beneficial for maintaining healthy cholesterol levels. So remembering with these claims, these are claims that have gone through Therapeutic Goods Association. So we can't just make these ones up. These are ones that have been gone through to say this product has these capabilities with the ingredients that's within them. And the theaflavins is another potent antioxidant to protect your cells from free radical damage. So scientific evidence suggests that it's the phytonutrient combination of both of those that works in two ways. It works to balance the absorption of cholesterol in the GI tract, number one, and it helps to support the LDA uptake by the liver to therefore control the level of cholesterol in the blood. And we mentioned before, one of the claims in regards to garlic heart care is that it may help and support healthy blood cholesterol, which may assist in maintaining a healthy heart in healthy individuals. So I'm sure you're thinking of many people that could benefit from these two supplements when they've gone to the doctor, got their annual blood test and realised that their cholesterol's maybe not as good as it was previously or as it possibly should be. So they can add these into their regime. Now let's look at eye health, of which we have our wonderful bilberry and lutein blend. Now I love this story. I'm going to have to tell you this story. The very first time I conducted this presentation in Queensland, I got to this part and I mentioned that World War II RAF pilots consumed bilberry jam to sharpen their vision for night missions, and I actually had a World War II RAF pilot in the audience in the very front row. He was sitting there, 92-year-old man I think he was, and I chatted with him later, and it was interesting to note he was sitting there watching the presentation with no glasses on and telling me how he still loves bilberry jam today, and how he used to consume it in copious amounts. It was kind of like their treat, and he is sitting there with no glasses on and claims that his eyesight is as good today as it was back then. So now bilberry is closely related to blueberries, but they're not the same, and has many names around the world and many different interesting functions. In Ireland, they actually used to use it with one of their superstitions in regards to their harvest. If the bilberry plantation harvested well, it would indicate that the rest of the crops would fare well as well throughout the year. In France and Italy, they use it as a base for liqueurs, and it's also a Scandinavian drink, of which that's the picture below there, but I am not very good with my Scandinavian to try and pronounce that one for you. Blabbasopa. So let's look at what's in this blend. You've got your bilberry fresh fruit, 37.8 milligrams. You've got marigold, which is also known as calendula, and that's where the lutein comes from. We've got some DHA from tuna oil, and you've got your citrus biflavonoids and your acerola concentrate, so your antioxidants there as well. And one capsule twice a day with meals. Now let's have a look at the claims. So we're saying it's a healthy dietary supplement which helps improve night vision and aids in the function of the retina. Bilberry helps support healthy eye function and assists with night vision. The lutein helps provide potent antioxidants, and DHA is found in high concentrations in the eye, hence it's placed into this supplement. And it is night vision that I have had the most feedback with people. I have probably noticed that also because it's something that is a little bit more tangible. People could notice when they are driving at night that they're not squinting as much. It's something they can actually compare, whereas your general vision isn't always something people can compare as well with. But the night vision, hence the RAF pilots who were flying at night, and the research there. And the claims state that improves your night vision also. And before we move on to men's health, I've just had a question come through in regards to... Okay, so the question is, for cold and flu, which supplements are good? Because Triple Shield, Echinacea and garlic both help to reduce the severity of a cold. Yes, so those two are the ones, along with one other supplement I'd add into the mix. So if someone was coming along and they were starting to get a cold or the flu, I'd be getting into my Echinacea, my garlic, and the last thing I would be introducing. Anyone want to type it in quickly? And the answer is vitamin C. Correct. I have 3 people, 3 winners. Can't see you, but I see your answers. So yeah, vitamin C would be the other one to help build up your immune system as well. Okay, so let's look at men's health, of which we have our wonderful saw palmetto and nettle root. But with a little bit of background in regards to the prostate prior to talking about the supplement. So changes in your prostate gland is actually a natural part of getting older. The most important part is to keep yourself informed with what's going on, because you may not be symptomatic. So a PSA test gives an indication of any problems that may be developing in the prostate, and it's normally something that's recommended in men from the age of 40, but if there's any family history of prostate problems, it can be done earlier. Of course, it's just a blood test. So just having a quick look at the prostate gland on the left, this is what a normal prostate gland looks like, and on the right you've got an enlarged and inflamed prostate gland. So what does PSA stand for? It's prostate-specific antigen, and that can be tested just via a blood test. PSA is a protein made mainly in the prostate gland, and you normally have low levels in your bloodstream. So whenever there is an increase in the PSA within the bloodstream, that's when they'll have a look at further investigation, because there is a number of reasons as to why that could have increased. It could be just that it's a benign growth that accompanies aging. It could be an inflammation, could be an infection, and less commonly, but obviously something we want to keep on top of, it could be prostate cancer. So the variance for the levels within the blood are actually quite small, so having that blood test will give you that indication straight away. So let's look at, have a look at saw palmetto and what it's traditionally been used for. The Mayans drank it. They used to make up the blend of saw palmetto. American Indians used the fruit for food, and they used to use it to treat urinary and reproductive system problems. And the extract has been used for 200 years by many European and American medical practitioners for problems such as general weakness, or probably what we would consider stress, I suppose, in our lifestyle now, recovering from any major illness and any urogenital problems as well. So let's look at the blend. It has 1.1 grams of saw palmetto dry fruit, along with our pumpkin seed oil and nettle root, and some citrus biflavonoids. 1 capsule 3 times daily. And the claims here: aids and assists in the maintenance and improvement of general well-being. So saw palmetto is a male tonic in regards to the herbs for men. There's not as many as there is for women. We have a very complicated female reproductive system, of which there is many herbs, and a lot more research has been done into those variety of herbs. For men, there's not as many, but it is saw palmetto that's considered the male tonic. Traditionally, naturopaths, when they are making up a herbal blend for a male, they will be putting in saw palmetto and anything else, whatever they're working on. If they're working on liver issues, if they're working on immune system issues, they'll choose the herbs for that. But just based on the fact that that's a man, and to support his male system, they will put saw palmetto, as opposed to all women. That will depend on so many other questions. So we could be adding in some Vitex, there could be some cohosh, there could be some primrose, etc. There's so many other herbs they could be adding into that mix, but for men, it's saw palmetto. So it may be beneficial to men in satisfying the physiological requirements of the male body. Nutritional and herbal support designed to support and enhance the muscular needs. So in naturopathic talk, we just say what that means is it's a male tonic. For the systematic relief of medically diagnosed benign prostate hypertrophy and may assist in the management of medically diagnosed BPH. Didn't miss anything. Okay, the next one that in sunny Melbourne starts to prop up, and a lot of people start asking questions about at this time of the year when it starts to get colder. People's joints start to affect them. The Tin Man, they need some oil added to their joints when the weather gets cold, and I reassure them that no, they don't have to all leave sunny Melbourne and head up to Queensland for their holidays. They can use a supplement. So I'm going to introduce you to our wonderful glucosamine. So before we do, let's talk about one of the main problems that people experience with joints, and an interesting point here. I can't remember if I put this question in the assessment that's at the end of part 2, but there are over 100 different forms of arthritis, including osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, which of course are the two main ones that we hear about. But considering all of the different joints within the body, of course, they're going to have all different names in regards to what part of the body that arthritis is referring to. So arthritis is a form of joint disorder that involves inflammation of one or more joints. Symptoms include pain, inflammation, swelling and stiffness, and generally when someone has arthritis they will feel at least one or all of those symptoms. So let's just have a quick look at the normal knee joint on the left hand side there. You can see that there's on the right hand side you've got the corrosion of the actual bone. You've also got a fair bit of inflammation that's occurring between the bones, which reduces then the synovial fluid, which means then that kind of covering around the joints becomes less and less, and hence it's more bone on bone. So let's look at our combination of some of the constituents within our glucosamine blend. So glucosamine actually comes from prawn shell. So if you do have somebody with an allergy to prawns, they will not be taking this supplement. It is also a compound that is in human tissues and in high concentration in the cartridge. Boswellia. Boswellia is like the missing link to most glucosamine supplements. By that I mean many of the supplements in the marketplace outside of ours for arthritic pain or any joint pain have glucosamine in them, but they don't have Boswellia in them. And Boswellia is a well-researched Indian herb used commonly in Ayurvedic medicine for its anti-inflammatory properties. And I kind of think of it as the piece of gold within our supplement that many people have not got within theirs. Bromelain is also within this compound, which comes from pineapple juice, which is also known for its anti-inflammatory properties. So what's within the blend? You've got your glucosamine, 375 milligrams, and the prawns are sourced from breaking through the ice cap of the North Atlantic Ocean, therefore ensuring they are from rich water source full of minerals, hence we consider them to be the freshest prawns in the world. And you've got your Boswellia and your bromelain in there, and you've also got some acerola extract, so your antioxidants from your acerola cherries as well. Now, if you have a look on your 4-page handout that you've got, and if you could find the joint health page for me, and have a look at the dosage there, and then have a look at the dosage on the screen for me. Okay, have you noticed the difference? So on the handout, it says, take 2 capsules twice daily, preferably first thing upon waking in the morning and again in the afternoon. On your screen, you can see I've written 1 capsule upon waking and 1 in the early afternoon. Okay, so I've said to start with 1 upon waking and 1 early in the afternoon. What a lot of people will come to you with in regards to joint pain and glucosamine, firstly they'll say, I've tried glucosamine and it doesn't work. And they may well have tried a glucosamine from another brand, and yes, it may not have worked. With ours, we have the blend of the boswellia, the bromelains, and the high quality glucosamine. What a lot of supplements do is they don't have those extras. They have glucosamine, but they often put other constituents in there, such as chondroitin, which comes from shark cartridge. So your client may have tried another one. I always beg my clients, please try this. Give this one a month to see how it goes in comparison to the one you've tried previously. So firstly, I start them on a low dose to see whether we notice any change or not. Generally between 2 to 4 weeks, they'll start to notice a change. If after the 4 weeks they have not noticed a change on one capsule in the morning and 1 in the early afternoon, then that's when I would increase the dose to 2 upon waking and 2 in the early afternoon. And there's been a question about whether this can be consumed on an empty stomach. It is normally fine to consume on an empty stomach. If someone does have digestive issues that they can't swallow anything on an empty stomach, then they could have it with breakfast. But the point is more that they're having it at the start of the day. It's more like when they're getting out of their bed and they know their joints are hurting, they've kind of got to re-oil the joints by having their breakfast and having their glucosamine. Often people keep it beside their bed, so they take it as soon as they get up, and invariably they'll have their breakfast not long after that anyway. And when I say early afternoon, basically halve your day. So 2-3 o'clock is normally around the halfway mark for most people. So try that for a month. After a month, if you say no, I haven't noticed any difference, then that's when you increase it to the 2 capsules in the morning and 2 in the early afternoon. So I have another question in regards to someone with spinal cord issue and in severe pain. Basically any pain management and joint conditions, yes, it's glucosamine and it's also omega-3, but often anyone who is in a high level of pain from any joint condition will be taking several medications, so ensure that they get the tick of approval to take glucosamine and omega-3 from their doctor, that there's no contraindications there. And the claims may help reduce joint swelling associated with arthritis, may help increase joint mobility associated with arthritis, may reduce the symptoms of sports injury by repairing damaged cartilage and therefore promoting improved joint function. So don't just think of glucosamine for arthritic and severe pain. Think of it for repairing the body over that sport injury that might have occurred whilst you were playing soccer, playing netball, etc. This is a fantastic supplement to have in the cupboard, and if you don't need to take it, hence you haven't injured yourself in the past year or so, then it can happily sit there and not be used. A bit like the echinacea. I always like, if I've got a bottle of echinacea and I haven't needed to use much over that winter, well, that's always a good thing. Now, some further resources before we go to any questions. So you have your webinars, these sessions for you. Now, these are all free and taped, therefore available after the session as well. Then we have our magnificent NUTRIWAY ebook, What Could Be More Natural, a 100-page book on everything NUTRIWAY. Goes through every supplement within our range, what's in the supplement, who would be using it, why they're using it. Don't forget your digital Facebook, Twitter and YouTube for further information, and e-learning for any sessions you may have missed or any other sessions over the past few years that we've conducted. Go on to e-learning. You've also got the NUTRIWAY website for everything NUTRIWAY. And don't forget your free service, the Ask Your Naturopath service. So any NUTRIWAY question you want to ask, big or small, any time of the day. Obviously, we're not going to answer it at any time of the day, but it is received and answered by one of the 4 naturopaths within the company. So we generally try to get a turnaround of 24 to 48 hours to get your answer to you. And that is answered only by the naturopaths within the company. So that email is naturopath@nutriway.com.au. And then finally, my email address is on here, but I just wanted to say thank you for coming tonight. I know it's nice not having to actually go outside into the cold to get to a session. It's nice to sit in front of your computer. But thank you for taking the time to come tonight. And the second part of this session will be on the 20th of May. And my email address is down here. If you would like to get a copy of the presentation, you can email me, and it's cheryl.o'@amway.com. So now I'm going to open it up to question and answers. So just type your questions in the chat area and I will answer them. So I'll just go through them all to ensure that I haven't missed any. Oops. Lovely to see so many of our New Zealand IBOs on board tonight. Okay, are there any herbals or vitamins and minerals that would interfere with one another? No, not specifically. No, generally speaking, things work best together, such as your vitamins with iron and vitamin C. And remembering with herbs, naturopaths traditionally pop the herbs into a liquid form, and that's the yummy taste that no one wants to have, so hence, you know, tablets are a lot easier. So when we generally do that, we would put at least 5 to 6 herbs within a bottle to take in one go. So when you think of it, if you're sitting there and you're taking your saw palmetto along with your ginseng and your ginkgo, and you might be adding in some bilberry as well, taking those together is like taking that tincture as well. But yeah, interfering with one another, generally not. Yes, the remaining herbs. So the next question is, will the remaining herbs be discussed in part 2 of the session? Yes. So in the next session, we will go through stamina and endurance, so looking at rhodiola and Siberian ginseng, looking at women's health, Primrose Plus and hair, skin and nails and black cohosh, looking at memory and circulation, so ginkgo as well, and digestion, milk thistle and dandelion. We don't cover weight management, the carb blocker and the trim choice. I didn't cover that in sessions when I was traveling because we didn't have enough time, but also because of the release of reblending of trim choice and a new weight management system that's coming on board later on this year. We'll cover that in more detail as the year goes on. There's a little bit of information on the sheet but as well for you. Okay, next question's in regards to heart health. Oops, I'll pass it. Yes, so someone stated that another reason for heart attacks is hardening of the arteries. Yes, and the plaque formation in the arteries is also a result of oxidation. So don't forget, you can also go and get your finger pricked at the business centres to have a look at oxidation within your bloods. And definitely with oxidation, we're looking at antioxidants, vitamin E and vitamin C, along with many of our phytonutrients within our supplements. So your double X and your concentrated fruit and vegetables are full of phytonutrients that provide those antioxidant benefits as well. So, interesting question. Some patients suffer from high blood pressure after using glucosamine from other brands. Is it because kidney is trying to eradicate some unwanted or unabsorbed glucosamine? Could be. Also, magnesium and sulfur aids in formation of cartilage with glucosamine. Is CalMag-D typical dose sufficient for that purpose? So, I have not actually heard too much about an increase in high blood pressure when people are taking glucosamine from other brands, but yes, the second part to that, would it be the kidney trying to get rid of? It could obviously be if there's some toxic material within that glucosamine. Obviously, the prawns have got to be, good quality prawns, not with high levels of micronutrients that can be damaging. So that could be the liver, the kidney and the liver trying to get rid of that. And magnesium and calcium, remembering, so the second part of that is magnesium sulfur aid in formation of cartilage along with the glucosamine. Is CalMag-D typically sufficient for that purpose? If somebody is suffering from a medical condition that requires high dosage of calcium or magnesium, CalMag-D probably won't be enough because it's not a therapeutic dose. Okay, it's a maintenance dose. So remembering, because we are a well-being maintenance range, when it comes to the need for a therapeutic dose of calcium and magnesium, you'd have to get a higher therapeutic range. Another question about glandular fever. If there's anything to aid with glandular fever. With glandular fever, I would be looking at building up their immune system and making sure I've ticked the box in regards to foundation. So making sure that they've got a good multivitamin to fill the gap, probably some more omega-3s into the body and some extra antioxidants via concentrated fruit and veg. And then because it is an immune system complaint, looking at some extra vitamin C also. So yeah, so glandular fever, foundationals and some extra vitamin C. Obviously also with that, low energy, etc., but I wouldn't be looking at any herbs for that low energy. I'd be looking at making sure I was covering the foundationals there. Next question, do you recommend keeping supplements in the fridge? Generally, no. The only supplement I recommend keeping in the fridge is omega-3, and you can put omega-3 in the fridge or in the freezer, more so if you get that kind of burping up, a little bit of fishy aftertaste with that supplement. You can pop it in the fridge or in the freezer. Otherwise, my main big thing with all the supplements is that the lid is quite tightly closed on the bottle to make sure no oxidation takes place. Next question, are there any herbal or vitamins for vertigo? Now, once again, kind of going back to the fact that NUTRIWAY is not a therapeutic range, it's a wellbeing range, and that's quite a complaint that requires therapeutic diagnosis. Nothing really within the range would be what I would be thinking about there. But going to a naturopath to look at products outside of the wellbeing range could definitely be worthwhile. Question about krill oil. Is red krill oil like the prawns used in glucosamine mix? The jury's still out on krill oil. The company's stand is that there's not enough research at this point in time to justify changing our omega-3 to krill oil. So there's not enough research at this point in time in regards to the benefits, and there's a lot of research in regards to our omega-3. So from my understanding, that the krill oil, the point of it is that it's acting like an omega-3 but in a higher dose in one capsule. How it actually relates in regards to the glucosamine, no, I would still be using the glucosamine, not only for the glucosamine within our supplement, but also for the anti-inflammatories of the boswellia and the bromelain. So to me, the mix of those two supplements, the omega-3 and your glucosamine, you're getting the blend of all of that, whereas with the krill oil is talking more about giving the high dose of omega-3 in one big hit. But the company has said if there was further research in regards to krill oil that validated, then they would look at changing it for sure. This webinar is not available on YouTube. It's actually becomes available on e-learning once it's completed and I download it. So yeah, you can go onto e-learning to get this presentation. Thank you for all of your thank yous. Glad I make it far and wide, and great to see my lovely Steve and Wendy always on board at my presentations. Yes, I look forward to part 2 as well. I love my herbs, love everything herbs, love introducing them into my daily life, and I think this time of year is when we all start looking for the echinacea and the garlic. And don't forget, people will often go and get a blood test and come to you with needing some ideas for cholesterol assistance or eye assistance, eye health assistance, etc. That you can think of the range. Next question. Let me find.